Hey folks, Jonathan here. Wanted to show you before we go pick up a car here. Picked up a set of rims. These rims, well, rims and tires I guess, but rims are 1968-69 Ford Mustang. Now a lot of people have seen these before, but usually they have the GT in it. This was just a regular Mustang I guess. But anyway, these was at a shop of a place where I have towed that for years, and I asked about them, and he said that they needed to get out of there. So anyway, the plans were to put these on the 49 Plymouth for to roll it around, because these are steel wheels instead of aluminum, and I think that might have lug bolts. I'm not sure, but when you go to put an aluminum wheel on an old car, a lot of times it's too thick to put on. You can't get the right lug nuts and all the other BS that goes along with it. So I figured these steel ones would be good. Now this one here, the holes had evidently had gotten run a little bit loose. They're not terrible, but we may do something about that. That's why we got machines in for a machine shop. Now this one, as you may be able to see, is bubbling air out around the bead. So they're all going to have to be broken down and reseated, cleaned up and stuff. And there's a little bend in that rim that needs straightened out. But I can work with them. They'll be good rollers. Anyway, tires. Got a Indy Profile Mickey Thompson's. I thought, because these are in such good shape and there's no weather cracking on them, I thought maybe they were newer tires, but they're bias. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know. I hadn't checked the year on them or anything like that. But nice set of tires. These are actually little 60s, but 14-inch. These rims are 14 by 7. So missing 3 beauty rings and 1 center cap, which that stuff's obtainable. It's not a problem. We're going to go pick up this 1928 Dodge Victory. It's a Victory 6, so it's a 6-cylinder. I told myself, the other day, I said, look, I got to stop buying cars without titles, just because North Carolina is such a pain to get titles for. It's so much easier to get one and get rid of it and turn it and move on when it's got good paperwork. So the last car I bought was the 49 Plymouth. Good paperwork on it, no problems. So I said, self, don't go buying any more without titles. And so yesterday I went and bought one without a title. So that's the one we're going to pick up. Okay folks, we officially made it back. Pretty long trip, and figured out my truck's only getting 8 miles a gallon, so that's not good. But that's that DT466 and that big Allison that kills that, but not that big a deal. Alright, so what we've got, you again? Anyway, we're back with it. I'm assuming that they're right on this, and this is a 28. It could be possibly 29 or 30. I don't know. I'll have to check real good. But few things I do like about it, few things I don't like about it. Now, like I said, I bought from pictures. I wasn't sure of condition. I knew that there was some rust down low, and it looks like the only rust on this one's the bottom of the cow's got a little rust. The hood's really nice. Fenders are really nice. The bottom of the door's got some rust. That bottom is nice. The rocker's really nice, and the splash apron there is really nice on this side. Rear fender's good, no issues there. Not a lot of dents or anything like that. Some little stuff, nothing major. Inside of this one's really nice, surprisingly, and you can still see the paint, the green paint in there, and on the car, quite a bit of green paint left. Running boards, of course, they were wood anyway, but they're rotted away, but that's not a big issue. It's got the brackets here where they slide in. Let me see, the back side. No window, but the garnish molding's there. That's good. There's a little dent beside the window there, not an issue. Gas tank's there, lid's off, so it's probably been, well, it's been raining, but it's been also smashed right there, so it's not any good. But you know, of course, it was. I wasn't expecting it to be. We've got a spare tire carrier there that's bent. That could, you know, easily be straightened back out. Oh, let me see what we've got. I've got the rear end that actually came out of it here. Don't have a front axle. Somebody has, it's got the original spring. Somebody has put a, looks like a Ford rear end in it, and it's a 4-lug. I'm assuming it's an 8-inch Ford. No carrier in it, but they just done that to roll it around. I didn't know that the axles wasn't original. So this one here he gave me, the front one was already gone. But like I said, it's not a big issue because I had no plans, you know, all the spokes are bad, and I had no plans to go back with a wooden wheel on this anyway, if I was to do it, which honestly, I'm going to put this up for sale, and if it don't sell later on, I may do it, but it would be a really good rat rod for somebody, or hot rod. Now it does have some rust on this side, on the inner fender, as you can see. The outside part of the fender is good except for when you get in close. Got some damage on the lower part of the rocker where it turns around, some rust, and there. But on this one, the front door is perfect, and the splash apron's not bad, and the rocker is actually really good up through here. And then there's a little rust on the bottom of the cowl. So that's all sheet metal that can be, you know, fairly easily hammered out and put on there. And I hadn't shown any sheet metal work I've done on any of the videos. I don't think any of them at all. When I get to that point, I'll show you that I've, believe it or not, done a lot of sheet metal work, hammering out and stuff. And you know, we'll do some good fabricating on sheet metal. This fender's really nice. So you know, the hood's good. It's got a broken hinge in the center. Well, it's not broken, it's actually the rivets are out, but that's an easy fix. You know, that it's in really good shape. Not as good as I hoped, but you know, better than, you know, it could have been. Somebody's put a Model T front axle in it, and they've just got it bolted in with threaded rod there. So it's just a temporary axle to keep it from sitting on the ground. You know, it needs either, let's say, a Mustang 2 front, or maybe a some kind of an aftermarket front, or go back with a straight axle, you know, something updated with disc brakes. And I don't know what year Dodge started hydraulic brakes, but this is, like I said, supposed to be a 28, but these are hydraulic brakes. But like I said, I don't know what year Dodge started. Now the only thing that makes me think maybe it might be a year or two newer, and I haven't been even in the house since I've gotten back, so I haven't got on the internet to check all this stuff out. And but the way it curves forward right here, you know, most of the cows I remember from the 28, 29, stuff like that was straight, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. I haven't looked for numbers on the car yet. You know, I got it with a bill of sale, and you know, I can see now it was hydraulic brakes on the front also. Grill is, you know, the grill shell's rusted. Well, it's not rusted, the chrome's off of it, but radiator could probably be straightened out and used. It looks like straight cores. You don't have the honeycomb like a lot of them, so that could possibly be rotted out if need be. Well, I can't get the cap off. Yeah, it's on there. It's on there for good. Now, one headlight bezel missing, and the glass, which I knew that. This one's pretty beat up, but bezel's cracked. But that's pretty easy stuff to find. eBay, loaded full of that. Now, what really impresses me on this car, I've owned a lot of old bodies that I've welded together, made rat rods, and sold stuff over the years. And I used to do a lot of them. I don't do nearly as many now as what I used to, but you know, I've had Fords, I've had Chevrolets, I've had Star, I had Willys, I had Olds, Buick, Pontiac, stuff like that. Everything I'd always had, everything was separate. So this would have been separate and nailed onto wood. You know, everything up here is just all separate pieces that is, you know, put together, so you don't have a solid car when the wood's gone. Now there's not much wood left in this thing. There is quite a bit, but I mean it's not in great shape. But because there's so much, you know, as you can see, this is molded together. You know, this is molded to this, where most of them are nailed and has a, you know, have a strip that covers your vinyl. Everything's put together. This is not a separate piece from this, where a lot of them are separate. You know, it'll have a seam somewhere. So this body is really tight together. The door gaps are really good. That makes it a really good candidate for a street rod or, you know, hot rod, rat rod. Just the fact that that's the way it is now. I see, okay, garnish molding. That's probably the garnish molding down there for here. And so garnish molding's in the other side. You know, some of that stuff's kind of the hard stuff to find. Dash, steering gear box is in it. Pitman arm is missing. Not a big issue. The doors are stuck shut. The handles are not turning. And I don't really want to turn them yet. I don't want to make sure. This is the only worry that I've got, is where the body ties together here. As you can see, it's moving. So if I open this door, I could possibly, you know, depending on how well it's mounted to the frame, it may try to separate on me. So we want to do something with that before this door gets open. But anyway, that needs to be taken care of before you start opening the door and, you know, losing your gaps and stuff. And the gaps even between the front and the back door are not terrible. So, and you can see some green paint on this side too. Most of the green's going on the hood. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the straps off and we're going to get this open. We're going to try to see, I don't know if it's going to be possible or not, we're going to try to see if this thing is stuck or not. And if it's not, we may try to do a first start. The good part about this is it's got a tractor style updraft carburetor. So rain wouldn't get in it. But then again, this car has been sitting for a long time. So chances of it being free is slim to none, but we're going to check it anyway. Let me do that now. Okay. As you can see, there's some water on it. Now it's got the two-piece spark plugs you can take apart and clean. So it's got, it looks like a big 7/8 pipe thread. What do we got? Water pump that's got a packing in it. You can replace the packing and tighten these down. If it starts leaking, you tighten it a little bit. This is supposed to be a grease cup. Put grease in. Somebody's put a, look like a Zerk fitting here. Let's check. Oh, rusty, but don't look much different than the old 59 Ford. So, I haven't had the other side open yet. Stripper's still in it, cap's on it. I haven't looked to see if the carburetor's on it yet. It's going to be kind of tough to get to. I don't know if I've got a crank that'll fit in here or not. We'll have to check that out and see. Alright, let me see if I can get the other side open. Okay, carburetor's missing, which is not a big issue. I've actually got updrafts if for some reason this thing is not stuck. I'm still thinking it's going to be stuck. Water pump's not stuck. Let's see if I can find a wrench that'll fit that. And maybe we can get it on there. Because like I said, I'm not sure where my crank's at. Okay, so I can't find a 5/16 wrench, an inch and 5/16 wrench, and I can't find the hand crank. I know I've got them around here somewhere. And I didn't see the original anywhere in the car. If it was, it probably fell through the floor. You know, all these floors, not all of them, but a lot of it was wood. All that up there under that seat was wood. So, anyway, so we're going to try to get a pipe wrench on there. Don't know if it'll clear it or not. Tried to put a socket on there and was going to go through it, but all the sockets are too deep. You won't get between the radiator and the mount. There we go. Right, loosening the bolt up. Go to the other side. I got a feeling that this is not going to turn. And the bolt's tightening back up. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do a first start on this one. Nah, she's stuck tight. I don't think this one's going to run again. Not in my possession anyway. Like I said, I have no intentions to jump on this and do anything. We're just going to park it for now and go from there. I just, you know, it was a deal. To me it was a deal, so I figured I'd grab it and then see what we had to work with. And body wise, you know, it's not bad. It's actually a pretty solid old car. It's, you know, minimal rust at the bottoms, and the top, you know, what a lot of people do is take a roof out of like a minivan, or, you know, they used to use van station wagons, and you can see this lip right here. You can actually cut it and lay it right just about on top of that lip and weld it in. Now it's got somewhat of a bow in it, and you know, you can end up with the same design, you know, or the same shape from the roof of the right vehicle, you know, whether it be a van or a station wagon. The last one that I known that a buddy of mine done was, he actually took it out of a minivan, and he'd done a Willys. And this one is pretty, it's got a little bit of peak here, but it's got more peak from there forward. But just be one of them deals where you got to search around and find what, you know, what you need. But that could be put in, welded in. But pretty solid old body. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and like I said, I'll park this one over to the side and we'll figure out what happens to it. Either it'll get sold or I'll do something with it. I mean, no hurries, right? But it's been waiting, what, 91 years now, so I don't think it's not going to rust away anytime soon. It's pretty decent. All right, appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye.